is Jordan.
That's Miss Diamond.
Alright, y'all. So we are back with some conspiracy videos.
My favorite.
So put in the comments if y'all like conspiracy theory videos better or if y'all like Karen videos better.
Yeah.
So make sure you like and subscribe.
A lot of people hurt their legs or ankles.
Just to have them be all of them?
That is a coincidence. A lot of people hurt themselves.
I guess so, yeah.
You know why Prince, the famous rock star that was a friend of mine, do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the fuck could possibly know what that means? Nobody does.
Do you agree with what he is saying? Could there be a darker side to these contracts that these artists sign, or is Dave Chappelle making it up? TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract the way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate, I needed a way out, and it wasn't good money, and it wasn't good circumstances, but what else am I gonna do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table, and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it?
He has a point. I believe he's on something.
He's speaking the truth.
Snow is weird, feels like styrofoam, and doesn't melt.
This is definitely styrofoam.
Man, that is styrofoam.
That's styrofoam.
I don't know if she was just doing that or...
Some of you still can't see that once upon a time giant trees existed. It's really quite obvious when you look with an open mind. A lot of them look like they have been cut down, kind of further proves giants really did exist on Earth, along with many other proofs. Anyway, if you didn't already believe giant trees existed then, you will after this next video.
I'm going to show you this, how the trees are fibers, and for some reason this shows the true color. A big chunk of this just fell off. See, part of the grain. This is the way the fibers are, right here. See? Hold on a second. You see it's nothing but wood. Okay, so we're going to go down over here and I'll show you a little more. Okay? All this, everything, this whole mountain in a 100-mile radius. Come right over here. You see, this looks just like freshly chopped wood. We peeled a piece off of there. This is what we see. This is the wood. See that? That's just got the moss on it. And all this here, all the way back up in here, I'll show you that in a second. It's just wood. That's so crazy. All this. And then you go right over here. See? This is the fresh stuff. This is what we see. Part of the source tree. You see this? That's incredible. Wood is like fibers. See here. All this. And it's not just here. It's worldwide. You see, this don't have the moss on it. Alright,
Why was he breathing like that?
I don't believe there was no giant trees. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know where everybody else stands with it.
It could have been.
Maybe she's right.
I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space. Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would...
Yeah, it's fake.
Very fake.
Flat earthers again.
When is this gonna end?
Personally, I don't know. Looks weird though.
I'm check me out anyway. Saturday.
CNN reported that scientists have revived a zombie virus that spent 48,500 years frozen in permafrost. Also in the news, they're now saying that a zombie drug is spreading across the U.S. called Xylazine. Thousands of overdose deaths in Hamilton County could be linked to zombie drug. March 5th, 2021, the CDC wants you to prepare for a zombie apocalypse. Am I the only one that finds it funny that all this zombie stuff is in the news right now after the you know what? I can't be the only one.
I watched The Walking Dead, so I know how to handle this.
It's not the same thing.
I couldn't survive. I'll probably be one of the first ones gone.
Then how you supposed to protect me?
We both out.
Alright, so at the beginning they're talking about the lady seeing something or asking if it's in the tractor or the forklift. I believe it's inside the tractor. You can see two dark shadows with glowy eyes. I'm gonna put it in black and white. Maybe that will help a little bit. Give me 1 second. Right there. You can see right in the center, you can see two dark shadows sitting. This one is gonna blink in a second. You'll see it right there. He blinked. They're both sitting there. They move, but ever so slightly. You can't really notice. And they're just sitting there. I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm not saying that this is a true video, but that is kind of shady. I'm gonna put a picture here with a silhouette in red so that you can see what I'm looking at. Let me know.
I don't know.
Might be two cats. Might be two cats the whole time, just chilling.
Man,
would allow us to see the real world are being blocked. Instead, we're locked into the simple three-dimensional existence, but there is much more being withheld from us. If you believe in simulation theory, then these beings are the creators of the simulation. If you're religious, then these beings are demons or jinn. Either way, they're not our friends. But why? Well, when humans were first created, the alien creators learned something. All other animals on Earth are driven by instinct. The instinct to eat, to survive, to reproduce, and that's about it. But when the first humans were given sentience, a byproduct of that sentience was emotion.
Of course, emotion doesn't exactly make us special. One could argue it has become a shackle in our waking life. Humans are still driven by instinct like fear or hunger, like any other animal.
Because humans are now aware of themselves and their existence, they experience the world differently. They experience fear of the future. Humans experience the pleasure of nostalgia for the past. No other animal has this gift, or this curse. Animals kill for survival, but humans kill out of hate. Our alien creators learned that our emotions carry energy, and the creators learned that this energy can be consumed for nourishment. Unfortunately for us, negative emotions are the most nourishing of all. Some have described the alien desire for negative human emotion as a drug addiction. If humans were able to see and understand our true reality, we'd know that our energy, or soul, or spirit, or whatever you want to call it, can move to a higher plane of existence after we die. But instead, the alien creators, addicted to our emotions, keep us here. We're born, we live to feed the creators, then we die. Then we come back and do it all over again. It's forced reincarnation. This process is handled by a piece of equipment that's been called a soul recycler, or a soul cube.
This right here is the picture the Chinese lunar probe captured. If you look at it from this far, it doesn't look like much, but once you zoom more in on it, it starts to give an eerie feeling of shock, seeing as how can such an artificial shape be on the moon?
Which is a large box-shaped device that's installed on the moon. The cube watches us and then transmits our energy back to Earth after we die, over and over again, and has been doing so for thousands of years.
That makes sense.
I believe in God, so.
And God did not say anything about reincarnation, so till he says it, we don't believe it. And I don't think he's going to say that anytime soon.
Two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff. Like amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute.
So what exactly are these allegations? Take a look at this. These allegations only come after Russell has started to expose how the system works against us and how it intends to keep you there.
These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of, and we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth, Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices, and I mean my voice along with your voice. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
He must have pissed somebody off.
That's all we have for today. We hope you like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell.
So that way you know when our videos come out.
And with that being said, man, sign us out.